Good girl, honey. You what? You a girl, hon? Hey, Sharon, how are you? I have not. As far as I know, that church is owned by the family that owns that little home across the street, which is kind of decorated similar. I know they have a Facebook page, and I guess they lease that out for private functions. But I've not been in it. No, it's pretty cool looking, isn't it? Out in the middle of nowhere. They have a Facebook, Bowen Church, Bowen Chapel, Bowen Chapel, in Maple Ridge, Michigan. It may be an Alger address, Alger. I photographed it before. Same with that barn. That barn is absolutely killer. Good shape. Just sad to see a structure like that abandoned. Yeah, it's very small. I think that was probably a church way back in the day, and it became for sale. For all I know, it almost looks like a church that could have been moved as well. There's an Amish group not far from there, but I know there's a girl that works where I get my lottery tickets down here at a Shell gas station, and she knows that family. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I don't know. I can try and find out about it, but I know they have a Facebook page. You know, I think it's cool, beautiful, just a excellent ambiance. Particularly the backside. It just faces farm fields, and that happens to be an area that's like really time hasn't changed much. I bet it doesn't look much different now than it did 100 years ago. Yeah, cool roof. Yep. Some of the stuff, I mean, it's contemporary, like the lighting and some of those fixtures. But if you looked at the place across the street, it's all kind of that. They own that other building that I photographed, not the barn, but the other one, the white building. That's on that whole same lot. And they've got like old bicycles out front and like statues and old swing sets and slides. I think these people are really into like nostalgia. Yeah, I think that's been redone. Yeah, yeah, it's really super cool looking. Churches like that, if you like that kind of thing, they're all over out west. Hey Faye, how you doing? I've cut up through Duluth. and headed west, all the way out to Glacier National Park. And if you like that kind of thing, you will run into those churches everywhere. Hey Dave, how you doing? Good. I was over at a buddy of mine's. Had a couple glasses of wine, a couple hamburgers. Yeah, no snow. All the snow is gone. This sucks. We're supposed to get a little bit of snow tomorrow, but hopefully I can stay home and get something done tomorrow. It's 22 degrees here, so it's cooled off quite a bit. I still have your H.H. Bennett photo, Faye. See the cat out there eating some food? Oh yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to get a little tomorrow, but nothing great. Hey Jennifer, how you doing? Hey Cindy. I mean, Faye, you look at this snow compared to the old days snow. What a joke. No, yeah, not at all. No. I was surprised over on Lake Huron today that with a bright sunny day that those icicles were still around. I'm feeling like okay. I got more tests the 7th. But actually, as crazy as it sounds, I'm like, I mean, I know it's not good, but like I'm not feeling good, but I know there's something definitely wrong, and I've had it for a long time. So I'm hoping that it's finally got to the point where this test will be definitive in some way. Yeah, that's right, Faye. Yep. Good old days. Oh, big time. Yep. Yeah, all the time. Now that river where I skated and screwed around in the winter, that's not even frozen. I don't even think anybody skates on it anymore. It's not safe enough. This 22-degree weather, though, as long as you don't have any bright sunny days, the inland lakes will freeze. Enough to walk on, probably not. That takes a while. It's so weird. If you listen to these governmental agencies now, everybody tells you don't ever trust ICE no matter what. And I probably don't want to get sued, which is kind of true. The big deal is movement, water movement, but even that can fake you out. You know, that Lake George where I take a lot of videos and photos. About a week ago, the shallow water was frozen, or the shallow water was unfrozen, and there was an ice cover over the deep part, which is usually the opposite. So it's true. I fell through twice last year, but I know exactly where I'm going. And the worst possible scenario happened on both times. That is, I got soaked up to about my knees, and that was it. Yeah, I'm trying to, Jennifer. Sure. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't, Dave. No. I got some kind of weird digestive issue all of a sudden. I don't know. I mean, you can, if you never know. I mean, you can have a lower GI problem and it causes an upper GI problem. Or you can have an upper GI problem that causes lower GI problem. I really don't know. So, I mean, I'm going to get scoped both places the 7th, and I'm hoping that they find something. Hey, Mia. I mean, it can be a million things. You could drive yourself crazy. Honestly, I'm not worried about it at all. I could take it either way. I mean, I bitch about getting older and that it sucks, but this is one of the good parts about it, and that is like, it's not that big a deal. If you had some shit like this going on when you were 20, it'd be the end of the world. Or a newlywed or somebody with young kids. But, it doesn't really bother me. It's more of an inconvenience and a hassle than it is a worry. No, I don't really think it's that. It's just, I mean, I'm going to live like what, maybe another 10, 15 years tops. So it's not like I'm missing out with orgies with Dallas cheerleaders, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Yeah, I'm not feeling okay, but something's definitely wrong. Be glad to get the bottom of it. I'll tell you this, whatever it is, it makes me tired. I mean, I've traditionally had a hard time sleeping, and man, when I go to bed now, it's like, man, I am sleeping in 5 minutes and sleeping like 9 hours and not moving at all. Which in a weird way is kind of good. So I'll figure it out. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Yeah, ice is weird. It gets them out here, not like it used to, because it's just been, unsafe for a long time. It picks them off all winter long. Tomorrow's supposed to be like maybe a little snow, but and I looked at the forecast, like nice weather for like ever, which sucks. I mean, I seek out this bad weather. I wouldn't say bad, but interesting. That's why I went up to Mackinac, which is really not far from me. Yeah, we've got fucking sunshine for 10 days straight, averaging about 30, and the low is about 21, just like tonight, all the way to damn New Year's. Sucks. I hope it's not right accurate. Yeah, I mean, my best friend's my doctor, so I mean, I was just over there tonight. So, I mean, I don't think that, gives me any advantage, really, other than he's, been doing this 45 years and he's seen a million cases just like this, and it could be anything. I still may take off someplace. I'm spur of the moment type guy. I don't like making plans. Charge up all my cameras and hit the road. I was thought about going down to New Mexico or some Indian reservations where I'd like to go to. But honestly, if you look at the temperatures across the country, I don't have my snow tires on, and the cold levels, even though I'm bitching about a mild winter in Michigan, uh, they go down pretty far south. I would like to cut down through Chicago and St. Louis to Oklahoma, but I could still get screwed if I got a big snowstorm on these tires. It'd be a problem. So then I've kind of thought of just buying a new set of tires and heading up to the UP and staying a couple days in Marquette and just photographing Lake Superior. I'll just have to play it by ear. The freighters quit running January 15th, but I've kind of lost a little bit of interest in freighters. I don't like them as much as I used to, and I like them when they come in and there's a lot of ice crusted on the front. Uh, but it's been too warm. Yeah, isn't that something, Dave? Do you know the soap guy, Dave? Do you know him? He's in LaPorte. It's called the soap guy. My birthday is January 4th. Yeah. Oh, you like older women? Oh, good for you. Well, I got a butt chum up here I can introduce you to. UP is not really my type place, but uh, I haven't been up there in a long time. I like rough water and stuff like that. I'll tell you an interesting. You guys probably don't know about this, but I still keep tabs on the aviation community. Not a lot, a little. I got buddies that are retired airline pilots. I got a couple that are still flying. I keep in touch with the place that worked on my airplanes. But about 3 years ago, there was a University of Michigan doctoral student, Asian guy, rented an airplane, took off, and the airplane ended up crashing on the Canadian side, the north rim of Lake Superior. No pilot, no footprints, nothing. So they basically figured out that the guy committed suicide. His wife got him declared deceased about 9 months after that happened. Big mystery. Why'd you do that? Where did you do that? Is this what really happened? And actually, the guy that runs the airport here called me. He knows I'm out driving around. He said, "You didn't happen to see a red and white Cessna anywhere, did you?" Because I stop at the airports. I did not. The FAA was looking around. A couple of law enforcement agencies was called. They just found his bones in Saginaw, believe it or not, about an hour south of here. So what he must have done was, was probably trying to muster up enough balls. Hey, Stephanie, to jump out of this airplane, put it on autopilot, and jumped out over Saginaw. And a hunter found his bones, and they just got the test results back, and they verified it was him through dental records. But here that damn plane flew all the way up across Lake Superior to the Canadian side and crashed after it ran out of fuel. And even though the mystery isn't totally solved, it certainly is a big cog in the wheel of where is this guy's body? He jumped out over Saginaw. They always suspected that he probably jumped out over Superior. I don't know what would make them think that. And of course, you probably never would have found him. But here he jumped out over Saginaw. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I couldn't believe it when I read the article because I hadn't, I just kind of written it off as, well, who knows where this guy is. I mean, yeah. Isn't that sad and creepy? Yeah. A hunter found it. Yeah. Yep. You can look it up. University of Michigan, PhD student, Ann Arbor, and you'll see it where they just came out with this. To me, it's interesting. I mean, the human behavior is like, wow. And obviously, he was in computer science. A bright guy. You just wonder, what was his thinking? Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, look it up. Just look up University of Michigan PhD student airplane crash. And you never know. I mean, a lot of these times, I mean, I've seen enough of these where, you know, something was, it could be anything. Something that he thought someone was going to find out about. I mean, certainly the University of Michigan isn't going to discuss his grades. Maybe they got pictures of him in women's clothing. You just never know. Kitty porn, robbed a bank. It's hard to say. Yeah, that's it, Faye. Yep. But I mean, not that I was connected to it in any kind of way, but the airport manager called and said, "Hey, if you're driving around, you see this plane sitting on the ramp anywhere at any of these small fields, let me know." They were actively looking for it. Yeah, I used to belong to that flying club actually, like maybe 35 years ago, something like that. Let me think. Yeah, about 35 years ago. University of Michigan Flying Club. Yeah, that could be it too, Cindy. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of that is like you get to a point where in your mind there's no way out, or that the way out is so daunting that you just don't have the energy for it. Yeah, but this guy was Chinese, and I don't know what the deal is with these people that come over here. Yeah, I shouldn't say this. I don't know. I just know that you know what you're in for when you're going to the University of Michigan as non-resident. So you would think that that would be all, uh, an expectation that you were prepared to deal with. And he was getting a PhD in like computer something, so it wasn't like income was going to be a problem. I was just talking to the tech that did my ultrasound at the hospital, and she was saying that one kid went to Michigan State and the other one went to Alma, and that neither one of them could find jobs, and they graduated 2 years ago, and they have huge student debt. So, I mean, you just never know. I mean, I understand, financial pressure, but that's what bankruptcy's for, or even a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 11. Uh, and you get that debt discharge, you get another bite at the apple, and they can't hassle you anymore. So you would think at least one time there'd be a way to, change that. Yeah, they feel hopeless. That's exactly. Believe me, I've been there. That or it's just too much energy. You're smart enough to realize what it's going to take to get back where you were, and you just don't feel like doing it. It's not worth it. The disadvantages outweigh the advantages. Yeah, basic. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. You're in some bullshit job. You got some. You're not making that great of money. Things have changed so much. I mean, unless you're a specialty, I mean, the days of getting a job at a factory and doing well are pretty much over. And then you look at inflation, the cost of fuel, energy, houses selling for more than they're listed for. I mean, the world's nuts. It's like third world. I mean, when I was messing around aviation stuff, I mean, I made pretty good money compared to most people. But there were guys that were like painting contractors. They had like two employees, and they were, affording a decent house, and they could afford an airplane and vacations. But I just kind of see that stuff dwindling away. And I think when guys like me, baby boomers, kick the bucket, you're going to see a whole nother level of change. Yeah, pride does factor in it. Sure does. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I don't know if you're a boxing fan, but there was a good fight on last Saturday. Lomachenko, Czech Republic, and Comey, who's from Guyana. Two class act good guys. And Lomachenko won. And I listened to the press conference afterwards, and Comey talked about failing his country. And then he felt that, young boxers didn't get the opportunity that young boxers would get in other countries, namely America. And he talked about feeling that he disappointed his people. He's such a cool guy. They're both class acts. I mean, believe me, they're perfect examples of what boxing should be like. I mean, you guys, if you've been around a while, I mean, I had my own mental health issues, suicidal a couple times. I got locked up twice. Now, at this stage of the game, like I tell people all the time, if that would have happened to me at like 21, it would have probably been the end of the world. But when it happened, which was like 4 years ago, it really wasn't that big a deal. Actually, I mean, I'm not, making light of it, and I hate to give chronic depression uh, a good grade, but really when I look at it objectively, and I'm not suggesting this is the way to do it, and age has a lot to do with it, I learned a lot. I really did. I mean, I don't think you have to be there sometimes to think you know what it's like, but there's nothing like being there. And that's probably a better example than most, whether it's being poor or unemployed and from beginning to end, you can imagine the thoughts that you have. And to actually go from being depressed to not being treated properly to not not getting any relief to getting run off the road by SWAT teams to getting locked up to being transported to being in mental hospitals and looking back. I mean, I hate to say this, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, but if you took all the evidence from before and everything that I learned because I was there at this stage of the game, I think I'd give the edge to the good experience. You know, Dave, they've wrecked that so much with this stupid clown, Jake Paul. So I would give the nod to, I mean, in hindsight, if you said, do you want to do it again 2 years from now? I would not. But I sure learned a lot. Yeah, it's a total joke, total bum. He can't box at all. Yeah, I got rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah, I don't want to collect anything anymore. I think like the mental health issues, society ends up paying for it one way or the other. It's the same thing with these drug addicted people on heroin and fentanyl and all this stuff, crack. Yeah, you're better off heading it off at the pass. I was gonna go out and check out those elk that drowned and that supposedly ran out in a frozen lake. I mean, I'm not like a government conspiracy guy. And believe me, I'm not anti-law enforcement. I'm always skeptical of articles I read in the newspaper. Ironic is the wrong way to explain it, but these elk were on the property of a private hunting camp. That's red flag number one. They claim that these elk, they saw them trying to run out to the lake and they tried to head them off at the pass. Flag number two. Then they claimed that these guides took chainsaws and rowboats and tried to cut the ice so the elk could escape. Flag number three. If this is all true, great. Stuff like that happens. The truth of the matter is, elk hunting is expensive. You have to get a lottery. And the notion that somebody would be going through all this, that were hunting elk, which these guys were with these guides, would have any part in wanting them to drown is faulty. I mean, any old asshole can get on government just because they don't like them and they want to find fault in everything they do. But even the worst possible scenario where there was some guy running around after drinking 2 6-packs of Bud Light and he happened to spook this herd of elk and they did run out on the ice and they did drown, there's really not much you can do about it. So once I found out it was private property, you can't get on it. That's one thing. And number two, there's not anything you're going to do about it anyway. All I can say, I was suspicious. The articles that I read in the paper, I think they knew that it would eventually get into the media, and I'm sure they tried to put a positive spin on it. But when it's all said and done, you looked at what really happened. I just don't find any motivation for anybody to do that, particularly people that were hunting them. So I'm just chalking it off to an unfortunate event, but it's just a sick feeling that that would happen to like innocent animals. Hey, Sandy, how you doing? Animals are pretty smart. They happen to mention in these articles that, animals get on the ice and they do drown, and so do people. Yeah, I know that, but a whole herd of elk running out into a frozen lake. I mean, they could have been spooked for anything. I mean, a gunshot, whatever. I will give the state credit for this, is they did retrieve, I guess, the numbers keep changing, these carcasses, and they processed them. We're going to give the meat to some food bank or something. Yeah, it really is, man. I mean, but you know what, Jennifer, if you think about it, I mean, they're getting shot on this lottery season that the state offers. I mean, animals are a commodity for the state. So, I mean, are they any different than the 12 that are going to get shot within the next week? The hunting season goes up to the 19th. You can argue that either way. Yeah, good luck, Cindy. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably that's what happened. Yeah, beautiful animals, they really are. I mean, it wouldn't interest me in shooting them, uh, but the notion that a whole herd, like bulls, uh, females, and calves, all drowned, oh, God, glad I wasn't there to witness it. I'll tell you something I did find interesting is they said that one of the conservation officers told the supposed guides they ordered them out of the lake in a rowboat with a chainsaw for their own safety. I don't know if they have the authority to do that. I mean, I think if I knew and if I had that opportunity and I had a decent boat and I did have a chainsaw and there was a chance that could happen, I think I'd tell a conservation officer to get fucked, deal with it later. You're not ordering me off any lake. Yeah, it's sad news. But really, if you really, I mean, that's kind of just something that stands out. I mean, if you look at all this stuff, like I mean, I got a little bit of a problem with that Nanyang Queen I go to. Now they claim that that place is all funded through hunters' licenses. Maybe that's true. And it's a place where they grow corn and they flood it. And basically, it attracts waterfowl, right? That's migrating south. And you gotta, it's another thing where you gotta get a special permit and they only grant so many of them. But honestly, I just got a little bit of a problem with government involving itself in creating habitats where wildlife think that they're coming for a place to eat and rest on their way down south when they end up getting shot. If you want to like designate land for hunting, that's all right. I'm not really against hunting. I just wouldn't enjoy it. But I got a little bit of a problem when you're planting food. I mean, they got a no baiting ban right now for white-tailed deer in Michigan. Well, why wouldn't that same ban apply to waterfowl? Now you can say, well, because it isn't for disease. Yeah, so what? I mean, if you read about ducks, and believe me, once I found that out, I've read quite a bit about waterfowl and stuff, and I've learned through being down there a lot this fall that ducks and geese are way smarter than I ever gave them credit for. And it isn't exactly easy to shoot them because of their intelligence. But I just got a problem with setting up a place for wildlife to think everything's going to be cool and getting shot. And for that reason, I don't like it. Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at, mankind, you look at the passenger pigeon as an example. Actually, their breeding place was northwest of here, and mankind wiped out every single one of them. Yeah, I think they need. I think they need. I mean, hunting. I mean, I don't think. Once again, when you talk about limits, if you look at, like, let's say whitetail deer hunting as an example. First of all, it's a huge commodity for the state. It's a big moneymaker. Not like it used to be. I think not like it used to be because youth is educated now. And they realize that the animal's always on the defensive, and that a guy that is 100 pounds overweight, that has COPD, that drinks 2 6-packs of Bud Light, is in no way any kind of sportsman. And then when baiting was allowed, it's a money-making deal. The animal is always on the defensive. That's my issue. But what I was going to say is the insurance company, that's the companies that are behind a lot of these hunting initiatives, because, it costs them a lot of money, people colliding with deer. In this county, we get about 400 a year. And now with this parts and this COVID bullshit and this stocking and stuff, they're totaling out a lot of cars that they wouldn't have normally, because they can't get the parts to fix them. So if you're an insurance company, if you can do something to influence the amount of deer running across the road, it would make sense to do so. Yeah, good luck, Cindy. Hey, Wadey, how you doing? It's just like, I went with my buddy, the guy whose house I was over tonight, and salmon fishing. It was fun. Then I thought, man, something's not right here. And then I researched it a little bit, and I found out that those fish are going off to spawn and then die, and they're not even eating at that stage. And the reason that you're hooking them is because they're breathing hard. A fisherman will tell you that they're protecting the nest. Bullshit. Not where I was at. They're not even anywhere near where they're going to spawn. There's no nest there. And 10% of them, you end up hooking them on the side, at the top. And it is fun, but to me, I got a problem with harassing something that's going off to produce offspring and then die. And they say, well, it's catch and release, and I'll tell you why it's catch and release, because the fish are half dead. The meat's no good. They're trying to sell themselves, just like beekeepers do, that this is a sport and it's not. And, you could put, they're bare hooks. The only reason you put this leader on the line is to make it legal. So it's not considered snagging, but it's total bullshit. Anybody that says they do this fishing in like the Betsy and the Boardman River, and they're some kind of sportsman, is totally and completely bullshit. There's no sport in it at all. Beekeepers are just as full of shit. I was into beekeeping pretty heavy, actually. I had 100 hives at one time. It was mainly in organic orchards. And it took me about a year to figure out these people are full of shit. You'll never meet a bigger bunch of con artists in your life than beekeepers. What's interesting is they market themselves as stewards to Mother Nature. That's another non-indigenous insect. You'll hear them bitch about zebra mussels all the time, but you won't hear them bitch about honeybees. They weren't even in the country till about 1840. Hey, Alika. Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, I would like that, Dave. Yeah, that's cool. I just enjoy watching it and stuff. And, they protect one thing, they don't protect another. It's interesting how the feds protect ducks and how they're involved in duck hunting. I used to collect antique marbles, and I knew a guy that was a federal U.S. Fish and Game. I mean, he'd been doing it like 45 years. He's dead now. And he was telling me, I said, well, what are some of the things that stick out? And I remember him telling me that green-winged teals, that they tagged some and they flew all the way down to Brazil in the winter. It's just mind-blowing, man. And look at these ruby-throated hummingbirds, which are the only ones that we get here. And piping plovers. Actually, those videos that I uploaded tonight, they had a couple of pairs of those nesting. They were down to 27 pair for a while. They didn't fly down around the Carolinas and Florida's in winter. And we have what was the world's rarest warbler, Kirtland warbler, Kirtland. They're off the endangered species list now, and they actually breed around here. And winter in the Bahamas. It's just nuts, man. Yeah, ducks are amazing. They've clocked canvasback ducks at 100 miles an hour flying. And you get these crap ducks too, and they claim them crap because nobody wants to eat them. Mergansers, they're smart birds too. Yeah, look up mergansers. I see them around here. I got some video and some photos of them a few weeks ago, but I've tried sneaking up on them before, man. Even though they're diving most of the time, they're looking their ass off. I don't know whether they can smell good too, but it's very hard to get close to them. Oh, cardinals? We got a lot of ravens up here too, which are really cool birds. Oh, that's cool, Dave. Oh, cool. You know that park that I go to and do a lot of that video, that Tallis Point State Park? Actually, the feds got a hold of me, and so did the state. You know, I like this stuff, even like when it's not popular. And we had that record winner about 6 years ago. I was out doing all sorts of shit, photographing it, videoing it, freezing my ass off, drilling it, seeing how thick it was. And they actually got a hold of me, both agencies, the state and the feds, and they wanted to know if they could use my video and photos for some kind of publication or study. It's like, yeah, no problem, man, no problem. Because it was just random video and photos of like stuff nobody else did, because at the time you didn't know it was gonna like be ending soon, and the average Joe doesn't give a shit. So I felt like lucky to do that. Hey, Les, how you doing? You're kidding me. You're lucky. If you're really into water and you like winter and just interesting stuff, read about the Great Lakes. They all, I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but they all to me are great. But Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, I didn't really know anything about them till about maybe 20 years ago. I mean, I knew a little, but not like I do now. Oh, cool. Cool. I actually had 3,000 pair of breeding birds at one time. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I give myself credit, but I do like these like weird. I say weird because I don't run into too many people that like it. I just do it no matter what. Like I'm not like motivated to do it through, getting YouTube videos or for YouTube. I didn't have anybody to tell about it. I just do it. I think that's true. I mean, not that I needed any validation, but just based on places that have got a hold of me over the years and wanted to know if they could use it because the likelihood of them having these photos or videos out in the middle of nowhere when nobody gave a shit was almost zero. Oh, that's cool, Terry. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I don't think I am. uh, and if I am, it's not because of these kind of things. Yeah, bird migration is fascinating. I like all that stuff. Beekeeping. I can tell you anything about beekeeping. I can tell you don't get the Langstroth hives. That's another thing that you get force fed with. Langstroth. He was a severely depressed guy. A lot of these guys back then, nobody else was doing shit. They kept notes, and they got famous. But I look back on some of the stuff this nut job did. It's kind of unfair because so much progressed. But he built a hive that was conducive for exploitation. For this notion that bees make excess honey is debatable. I don't believe it. The honey's for the bees. And commercial beekeepers are like the cruelest people in the world when it comes to treating a living organism. I can give you all sorts of examples. I used to go to these seminars at Michigan State University, just constantly getting arguments after I figured out what was going on. The Langstroth hive, the kind you see all over, that's set up for extraction. An insect would never in a million years set up like that on their own. That's so you can go in, take the frames out, put them through an extractor, and take all the honey and replace it with Chinese high fructose corn syrup. If you like this and you're interested in pollination happens a lot of ways. Ben and Jerry's, those Jews that own the ice cream company, they'll have you believe that it's this big tragedy and travesty that bees are dying. Yeah, it's hitting them in the pocketbook. Bees are dying for all sorts of reasons. Neonicotinoids, stuff for crops, Roundup, the way they're treated, transported. Uh, they'll have you think that it's just this big, mysterious phenomenon that is creating this colony collapse, which is bullshit. Bees are dying from man made chemicals. And to be honest with you, they shouldn't be over here to begin with. They're not from the United States. The only time you need bees in fields is when you're trying to pollinate big, large tracts of vegetables or fruits. Other than that, you don't need them. There's no way you're going to get natural pollination on 100 acres of watermelons without having bees, with blueberries without having bumblebees, with apples without having honeybees. So really what happens is you take all the bees, you drive them all over California for the almonds, out east for the blueberries, You move them all around, you steal all their honey, and you replace it with man-made crap. And then you produce articles in the media talking about the bees are dying and we want to know why. You know exactly why. But if you like those things, you're interested in insects, and you want to do some local pollination, which you don't need if you're not a commercial farmer, get a Warre hive, Warre, a top bar hive. It's exactly what you would not want to use if you were trying to make money. It's interesting, you can be good to the bees, you're not hurting anything, and you'll get to see them spin wax and honey in a way that just looks like tapestry. Hey, Meat Candy, how are you? Hey, Golden. Yeah, there's some natural treatments for varroa mites. That's true, but they're very controllable. Wax moth as well. That's exactly that. Sound like you've done some beekeeping. No, I don't think it is. And people are crazy about honey in general. I mean, these kooks that eat this royal jelly, I think they have a major screw loose. Actually, honey is actually bad for you in a lot of ways. Everybody loves it in tea and blah, 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 but it actually has an enzyme that'll take away the enamel on your teeth quicker than table refined white sugar. It's high in calories as well. This notion that it's some natural medicinal medicine is nonsense. Yeah, bumblebees, they all die, but the queen. Honeybees in a proper environment will make it through the winter. Oh, did you not share? Yeah, I won't mention his name, but you've got he's not Amish, but everybody thinks he's Amish in Flint. So I'm down there one day buying some package bees, and this PhD from Michigan State is down there, and it's like 28 degrees, and they're down there in a pickup truck. And I ended up saying to the guy, who are these people? He said, oh, he's a published author from Michigan State, an expert in bees in the entomology department. I said, well, you might want to tell that fucking idiot it's 28 degrees and there's no fucking way those package bees are going to make it from Flint to Lansing in the back of a pickup truck. He said, man, I did. I tried. So they load, there's another cat out there eating food. So they end up buying a bunch of package bees. Sure enough, this dumbass calls them about a week later and says that 75% of the bees died. Now, this is a so-called bee expert from Michigan State in the entomology program. So, when you see things like this firsthand, I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me. I don't want to say his name. I don't. I can tell you this, he's Chinese. Hey, Simple Life, how you feeling? Yeah, it's super incredible. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, up here, honestly, I haven't had very good luck with bees, and most people I know have not. If I had to guess, I've tried it twice. Maybe I got bad package bees. The second factor is super cold winters and low deck angle, the sun in the winter, and just there's so many trees around here. I'm sure I could have tall trees. you put them out in an open field, and the bears get them, and the skunks, and the success rate of honeybees this far north is dismal. Yeah, just let them do their thing. Yeah, what I would try to do is I would try to break the wind. I'm glad you brought that up because there's all these dumbasses out there that, believe me, I would love to have one. I would love to make my walk-in closet a place where bees could come and go. But here's what happens: bees are smart. They're survived. It's been thousands of years they've evolved. So even in January, you still need that sunlight. It hits that hive. And then you get a warm day in January where the sun's hitting the hive, where, icicles are melting. Bees will go out and go to the bathroom. And it's a warm day. They will fly out 3 inches away from the hive, do their business, and fly back into the hive. But all these companies, Good Simple Life, market these indoor beehives. First of all, bees have evolved to be cold in the winter. So they'll market these beehives where you can have an observation hive inside in a place like where I live now, where it's 22 degrees. Let me tell you what happens when it's 22 degrees. The bees are in there. They're out fucking around. They're not dormant like they would be if they were outside in a 22-degree night. And they fly out. And they never come back. And why? Because they're cold-blooded. And 2, they don't know that it's 22 degrees after they've just left your 72-degree closet. I mean, I love the idea of it, but I hate to think how many bees are dead because these idiots acting like you can have these indoor observation hives in places like where I live and that everything's going to be fine. It's not. No, that's a cat out there. Actually, that cat spent 10 days in my van with the windows rolled up 3 years ago in record heat without water, food, and survived. Yeah, I think bugs are fascinating. Actually, if you read enough nature books and magazines, insects rule the world. Yeah, I mean, I've tried Russian hybrids and all sorts of shit. Yeah, I've tried everything. Look at a Warre hive, Warre. I think in Alaska, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anything about like honeybees up there. I don't know how they would do. Oh yeah, so he goes. Oh yeah, that's a Persian cat actually. That's the one that was in my van for 10 days. Beautiful cat. He's out there fighting right now with other cats. No, it's fascinating, not sure. Yeah. And how about propolis? And how about making that hive in the dark, spinning that wax in the dark, and their navigational abilities, and they only live 21 days in the summer. I mean, a bee is an absolute fascinating insect. Yeah, I don't really know anything about honeybees, and Alaska is like different. I remember one time I rented a cabin, floating cabin in the Parakoff Bay, north of Kodiak, from the guy that did the bear tours. And I remember seeing these otters swimming around. I thought, God, those things look big. And you could see them like they'd roll on their back and they'd be crunch. You know how Alaska is, everything's huge. And they're eating these clamshells like it's potato chips. And I remember reading that those otters up there get up to 210 pounds. They're huge. Oh, insects. There's a guy named Edward O. Wilson. He's from Alabama. He's a Harvard professor. I don't even know if he's still alive now. If he is, he's very old. He's written some absolute fascinating books on bees, and not bees, ants. Hey, the Shadow, how you doing? Yeah, check out ants, pheromones, and messaging, and I mean, super interesting. Hey, Blue, how you doing? Yeah, I've had quite a few bee. As I've gotten older and I've gotten smarter, like I said, I was stupid enough to have. I bred dromedary camels, koi fish, and then the older I got, I just, I just didn't like the idea of caging things. And I mean, there's all sort of. I thought of maggots for a while for burn patients. I even looked into leeches until I found that after they do their duty, that you're supposed to kill them. And I thought, I'm not doing that. The debriding capabilities of insects for burn victims is better than anything that's man-made, hyperbaric chambers included. And I wasn't going to do that. I don't care if it's an insect or whatever. I'm not going to have them do that good deed and then kill them afterwards. Not happening. But it fascinated me, maggots and leeches both. Big time. Yeah, even the mosquito, that's true. Oh, cool, Dave. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to do that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're an animal lover, and I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, and you realize that pigs are smarter than dogs, and that you get arrested for abusing a dog, but you don't for slaughtering a hog. I mean, look, you can do it, right? They're farm animals. There's a difference between that and a pet. I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't think in a million years that I could do something like that. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, and I'm not criticizing you for the way you decide to do that. I do think that humans are carnivores, and if you look at the digestive system and the teeth and the protein requirements, I think that meat is in the staple of humans' diets, but I just don't want to be a part of like doing that. Oh yeah, they swarm, Terry. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, surrounding the queen. Yeah, they're easy to trap. Pigs are smarter than dogs. Well, it depends who you ask. Go watch the movie Babe. Yeah, but you can train him to do all sorts of shit. Ask Faye about pigs. She has them. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I mean, this is one of these deals. Like I mentioned this a million times. It's like gay stuff. I don't give a fuck about gays. I wish them all a big dick. Actually, I've administrated the estates of two gay guys that I knew. Does that grant me a front chair in heaven? I doubt it. They were good guys. I was glad to do it. But this is the way I explain the gay stuff. Should they have the same rights we do? Absolutely. I'm not a religious guy, so scratch that. So good for them. I'll help them. I don't think they should be discriminated against. But let's say, for an example, that I was younger and I was married and that I was going to have a son and that you were going to have a son. We were both going to have a son. I want you to have the gay one, not me. That's the best way that I can put it. Willing to go along with it. open arms. And like I said at the Thanksgiving dinner that I was at, I went to a gay guy's house for Thanksgiving, and we were drinking and talking shit and fucking around. And I said, don't ever forget this, that if everybody was gay, we wouldn't be here. No, no way. No, I don't think I would. You know, it's funny you say that, ICU, because there's a lady here that married, they don't have kids. Actually, when I do a lot of those lives through where I'm up on that hill in West Branch, if you look at that house, it's the only one you can see with that new metal roof. I've talked to her dad. I've done a couple of videos of his potatoes and corns. Great guy, old school, 120-hour a week, working hard German. And she's a super cute blonde that I see her driving this big 12-wheel tractor, and she's so sweet. I had talked to him one day about recording their cows, which she owns too. And I was down there doing a GoPro video. And she didn't come down and say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? What's that? She came down and said, oh, I just wondering what you're up to. Kind of really cute. And I said, I talked to your dad. I thought he would have talked to you. I was just like, I videotape everything. I'm just, crazy about, like, I don't know why I do it. And she said, oh, and we talked for about a half hour. And actually that came up. And they do have dairy cows. And I said, I'm just curious. I know you said you didn't have children, but is there a connection with these cows? She said, yeah, there is. She said, I've been in farming since I was a little girl. She's probably about 35. And she said, we just had to put down one of our dairy cows the other day, and I cried. And I really thought that was kind of like a poignant statement to make, that for someone to be that entrenched in 4-H and still in farming, that they could still have that sensitivity for something that they grown close to. And I did also ask her, what's something that you could mention that is interesting about dairy cattle? And she says they're so nosy. They're inquisitive about everything. Oh, what did you do? Oh, gotcha. Oh, I see. No, I got you. I'll tell you, I've never run anything particularly positive with regard to IQ on domestic turkeys. Wild turkeys I think are super smart. Yeah, what are the details of your mistake, if you don't mind saying that, sure? Oh, you hit a parked car? Hey, Lulu, how you doing? Yeah, so what? I mean, particularly in this modern job climate, that doesn't mean shit. I had a couple parked cars myself. Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was all on a suicide deal. Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I didn't even know I was hitting them. You can believe that. Yeah, it seems like the end of the world now. It's not that big a deal. Did you get a ticket? Ricky Bobby, yeah, that's my man. I quote him all the time. The calves, either they go on and get butchered as they age, or they turn into fellow dairy cows. You know, newborn calves don't have an immune system, which is why you see them all in those little protective plastic houses. Oh, you're all right then. That doesn't mean shit. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you know, I will tell you this. I mean, I do eat meat. I'm not a vegan or anything like that, but I'll tell you this: veal. I was 19 years old, and when I found out about what created veal, I said, "Fuck that," and I've never eaten veal since. It's like foie gras on ducks. Yeah, no veal. Once I did that, I thought, you know, I'm not going to be a part of this. Oh yeah, they're smart. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I couldn't do it. See, meat candy is like a different kind of thinking, which is, you know, cool. That's I don't have a problem with it, you know, but I'm just not that way. I mean, like I said, these guys that read, I'll tell you what it is. It's called Better Be, whatever. They're down around Flint, Michigan. You'd think they're Amish, but they're not. Super cool people. I really hit it off with the husband. Really bright guy, uneducated, but super smart. I met them at a beekeeping seminar at Michigan State, and I'll never forget that. This was a long time ago. And his wife came up to me later and she said, "You know, I want to thank you." It's like, "For what?" She said, "I watched you and my husband have just really an interesting conversation. It was just beautiful to watch." She said, "Thank you." She said, "He had a good time and it was just really fun." It's like, I thought we were just having a conversation. Hey, Gary, how you doing? You must be watching the enemy channels. Hey, John. Oh, excuse me for a second while I grab my last dragon's milk. Daisy, do you want to go out and go pee pee, honey? How come you're not eating your hamburger, huh? Yeah, I brought you that hamburger. Yeah, I don't know too much about that Kala stuff, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, I mean, as I see it, everybody's biased is, I eat meat, so I need to shut my ass up. I just don't, I don't want to be a part of that, like raising it and killing it. There's a book, it's called Craft Meat, which was recommended to me by that butcher about 20 miles from here, who somehow has very educated daughters, very cultured, well spoken. One girl got a master's degree from the Northwestern, which is super expensive, and she recommended this book, this Craft Meat, and I bought it, and I'm glad I read it. And it talks about raising meat, how meat tastes the way it does, the different sausages around the world, blah blah. Yeah, I don't like pet abuse. Isn't that the truth, Boo? Yeah, I do the same shit. Yeah, they say if you ever go to a slaughterhouse, you'll never eat meat again. Yeah, I feed her. Nah, I feed her Yeah, I feed her human food probably 90% of the time. Yeah. Yep, I do. So far, so good. Hey, what, Russia? How you doing? Yeah. I was supposed to meet that guy for a beer the other night, but I mean, here's a perfect example of meat candy. Like, you're right, Sweetbriar Farm. They seem cool, but I'm not that close to like, that methodology. So I find myself making excuses not to get together with them. Oh, that sucks, story. I just read about two suicides, one in Kalamazoo, one in Ann Arbor. Yeah, Daisy seems to be a good dog. Hey, Dolly, how are you? Yeah. It's not normal to want to end your life. It's 25 here. Actually, it's warmed up a little bit. Not bad. It's not windy at all. Oh yeah, I've had my brushes with suicide, believe me. Twice. I got locked up, run off the road by SWAT teams. Me. Me. Hey, train. Yeah, well, that was a while ago, but what can I say? I think overall it was a good experience. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, good for you, Cindy. Oh, wow. Live and learn. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, see, that kind of stuff never bothered me. I mean, that's one thing that I criticize suicide hotlines and these public safety seminars about suicide. What got me there wasn't what got lots of other people there. The holidays wasn't part of it. It wasn't being lonely. It wasn't any of that. Oh, that's an honest response, Jules. I don't either, Dave. No, I don't either. I think what I don't like is when people say it's the most selfish act you could commit. I don't agree with that at all. Total joke. Absolute joke. I'd rather call up and listen to Bozo the Clown. Oh, thank you, Tori. Oh, do they meet Candy? Well, they're kind of obligated to do that. I mean, that's kind of set up in our culture. 4 years ago. It's 4 years ago. If you go in the search box of my videos, put in the title "I fought the law and the law won," and that is a video of a SWAT team running me off the road and taking me into custody and getting me transported to a psychiatric hospital 100 miles away. No. Oh, thank you, Nutri. Yeah, I mean, so I think, in my opinion, which of course doesn't mean anything, I think suicide hotlines are good for people that, and I don't have any proof of this, that are thinking about it, that are lonely, that want someone that cares. None of that applied to me. And maybe they provide a function for that. I don't know. I can just tell you that it wouldn't be for me. It's called I Fought the Law and the Law Won. That's what I title it. Yeah. I fought the law and the law won. Yep. No, they don't get it. No, it's like if somebody ever, let's take for an example, you knew someone that was going to commit suicide. Hey, Christine, and they were on the top of a bridge somewhere. And for some miraculous reason, they got a hold of me, which they'd never do because of liability. And I was going to go down there. Would I talk to them? I would talk to them. And I would tell them at the very beginning that I'm not going to try and talk you out of this. I've been there. I think I was probably there for different reasons than you were. And I can just tell you this, I believe this, that it's not normal for anything living to want to terminate their life prematurely. I'm not going to tell you to climb down. I'm not going to tell you I'll give you a big hug. But let's have a rational conversation about this. And I'm not going to be judgmental. That's what I would say to them. And I don't think that I'm further down the road than you are because I survived it. I don't think I'm a better person because I'm still alive. But I can tell you that I think we have a common bond in what you're thinking about. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, I'm the kind of guy, I just put it out there and, I could end up with more enemies than friends, but I don't think that way. Yeah, take a vote. Yeah, do it. Well, best of luck to her, Adrian. That's a difficult life. Oh, thank you, Blue. Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, honestly, Jules, I never agreed with that either. I never agreed with that it's a failure to cope. It's kind of a catchphrase, and it's different for everybody. I mean, people in their lives for lots of reasons. And the ones that I read about weren't the reasons why I was thinking of doing it. I believe that, Drifter. That's a possibility. Yeah, no shit. Words of wisdom. Oh, sorry about that, Bugman. Yeah, whoa, Joseph Wambach. Yeah, sure am. He was an ex-cop, I think, wasn't he? Oh, wow. I'm telling you, Adrian, I know the feeling. They will wear you out. Yeah, really. Yeah, sure have. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tori. Oh, wow, no, like, wow, that's a lot. I mean, look, I don't look down on people that do it. And, I mean, I think it's a personal choice. And this notion that it's selfish is nonsense. And don't forget, we're going to die anyway. But I will agree with this. It isn't normal for a healthy living anything to want to end their lives prematurely. It's not. Which, assuming that's true and that you agree with it, is worth alternatives. I bet you wouldn't. I've met quite a few people, and I had good experiences in a psychiatric hospital. I met some super cool people there. But I know this for sure. That until you're looking at that Grim Reaper for real, you don't know what you're going to do. You think you do. I thought I did. But until death staring you right in the face and that big giant question mark of what not living is really like, you don't know how you'll react. No, I believe that, Dave. No, it's interesting you say that. And actually, it's funny because that was kind of always my sentiment on not wanting children because of what you just said. Yeah, they did. They did. You can still get it in Vermont and Oregon. The difference is you have to be terminal. Now, you can go to Europe. I checked, it was about 16 grand. And you can just go in there and say, hey, my life sucks. I hate it. And they basically euthanize you for no reason. You're right, A-Train, yeah. No, that's true too. You're right. I agree. I agree, White Russian. It's true. Oh, hospice. No, I have not, Christine. No. I mean, there's through movies and published stuff and talk shows, there seems to be like this popular variety of why people end their lives. I mean, everybody knows terminal disease, no brainer, embezzlement, you got caught with kiddie porn. I mean, these are all no brainers, but I can tell you none of that shit applied to me. It wasn't any of the reasons why I wanted to end my life. Oh, I didn't know that, Christine. I'll check that out. Yeah, that never was a part of the equation with me, Tori. I didn't give a shit what people thought. I mean, I've actually read articles of people that had good lives and they didn't want to get old and they promised themselves when they got like 55 they were going to end their lives and they did it, and they wrote long detailed explanations of how they came to that conclusion, which it's up to you whether you want to agree with it or not, but I thought it was pretty profound. Oh, good for you. I see you. Cool. I'll tell you, this goes to show you how things work. I'd fuck around with different psychiatrists my whole life, and I didn't really thought it was great. It's just kind of going along, and desperate times call for desperate measures. And then when I got locked up in the second place, I met a guy and really hit it off with him. I mean, like this, like if you're dating, it's like, wow, I really like this person, we really got along great. And he ended up getting canned from the hospital that I was sent to. And I saw him 2 times because there was a part of like similar to continuing education where to get out of this fucking bullshit, I had to still treat and I had to have a fucker that would write this script and go to this fucking bullshit. So I didn't like the people that I was assigned to, so I just decided to pay for it out of my own pocket and I looked him up. And I see that goddamn guy just got his license taken away. No wonder I got along with him. But he probably did more for me than anybody. I was going to reach out to him. I haven't. I should have. And God, I hope to do that tomorrow, actually, because if it's just shit luck and, the roulette of probabilities and odds, just by nothing else other than he helped me see the light in a way no one else did. I don't know whether the guy went off his rocker or was fucking his patients or what, but he got a voluntary surrender of his medical license. Bright guy, went to good schools, did an internship at Harvard. That's my tomorrow's homework. Oh, sorry about that, Simple Life. Probably true, Drifter. No, I got in some criminal trouble with all my stuff. So I had to treat and go to these fucking sanctioned shit to report. Yeah, that's what happened to me. Let's see, it was not so much the first time, but the second time. The second time they nailed me with the unauthorized transportation of a non-secured weapon. And that's kind of what led me down that road. Basically, it was a gun that they didn't feel was properly secured. Oh, cool, Christine. Thank you. No, that's right, A-Train. Yeah, thank you for helping them. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Cindy, for doing that. Yeah, I mean, here's the problem. When you get in this frame of mind, you end up interacting with people that aren't in the same frame of mind. So, I mean, if you're a depressed person, I mean, at least in my case, I don't want to hug. I'm not lonely. I don't really care about if people are going to miss me. So the whole protocol for the dialogue was flawed from the get-go. They're trying, in their eyes, they're helping me, and I'm continually getting, the bar is very low when you're depressed. Everything is a big deal. Paying bills, being punctual, following up on medical appointments, going to the dentist. And it just seemed to me that there were all these false hurdles that were created that weren't even accurate. So it was like one person after another that I interacted with, we just weren't on the same plane. I didn't need a new kitty cat to have a bond with, or I didn't need a Bible, or I didn't need to have someone that cared for me. It was none of that shit. And I just found that I got more and more aggravated and, turned off by what was presented under the ruse of getting better. When I was really drawing blanks and I'm like, just trying to hang in there, I went to this Catholic thing because I couldn't get in to see a psychiatrist down in Saginaw. And just met this fucking idiot that was on some kind of internship in this psychiatric thing for this benevolent outfit. And it was like a half hour, and this guy was just so fucking stupid. And I'm thinking, I have gotten so low in life that I'm actually reaching out to an organization that hired this fucking moron. And if I didn't want to off myself yesterday, and it was set up to where I was supposed to see this idiot once a week, this guy is surely going to finish me off. Oh, COPD sucks. It's like drowning. What really sucks is the people that get COPD that didn't even get the enjoyment of the nicotine addiction. Oh, it's agony is right. You got it. No, it's not. I've got the book. I haven't read it yet, but it's basically The Body Keeps Score. You know, it's basically about PTSD. You know, there's some pretty good micro dosing programs going on with mushrooms. I mean, I'm not a druggy guy, you know, even though they made it legal here, it's just not for me. But I think I would try that micro dosing bullshit maybe someday. I'm not anywhere near where I used to be, and I think it's probably age. Um, you know, I almost get happier and more enlightened that being young is when it was a bitch. I'm thinking, God, I got 40 fucking years to deal with this shit. We're now at this age, it's like I know it's over in a much less time period than I've already experienced. So it's kind of taking the edge off it, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's cool, A-Train. Good for you. Yeah, you're right, Jules. Yeah. Oh, why? I see why. Hey, Jable. Yeah, I mean, even if it helped you and it was temporary, no, you should, Bopa. Yeah. Yeah, it's true, Shadow. Yeah. ICU, I think you should, it's not my business. I'm not trying to talk you into it, but I would certainly be first in line for that opportunity. No, it would help. No, it's different, totally different. Call him back. Yeah, I think that's true, Jules. Yeah. Yeah, White Russian. No, I said ICU should call that guy back, that doctor. Oh, interesting, Dan. Hey, Hannah. Oh, interesting, Drifter. Yeah, yeah, I don't like a lot of things he does, Blue. That's it, Bopa. You want some good psychiatric information? Tracy Marks, Dr. Tracy Marks. Check her out. Excellent speaker. Seriously, check it out. Tracy Marks. It's on YouTube. Well, Ann Arbor, I guess there's a couple places that made them illegal. Yeah, I'll tell you, excellent. Yeah, really good. They don't like that. How you doing? Oh, interesting, Laura. I researched that a long time ago, and it didn't. I didn't really find anything that seemed at the time valid. Have you felt better? Yeah, it was a good day today. Yeah, Daisy's sleeping. Oh, good for you, Laura. I mean, I'm not knocking you guys, but I've never been able to see anything scientific that linked that mercury fillings to mental health. Well, congratulations if it worked. Good for you. Oh, you think you do? Well, it's easy. You should get tested first. I believe that, Jules. Yeah, whatever works, that's true. Oh, good for you, huh? Congratulations. Oh, I'm glad it worked for you, Laura. Yeah, I tried that. Yeah. I think I'm well beyond B12 shots. Oh, cool. It is a great dog. Yeah, I was trying to think today, like, what would make Daisy so much better than my other dogs? I think it's just the circumstances, how I met her and how it worked, and how my life was at the time. It just I couldn't have had a better match. Oh, sorry about that, Dave. Yeah, it's true, Jules. I would agree with you. I would say they're bullshit. Yeah, I would. I mean, it's just like if you're a housewife and you're fucking your boss and your anxiety is high and you're wondering if it's going to lead to a divorce, maybe melatonin and that shit will help you go to sleep. But when you've got like a reverent bad gene pool and PTSD, I'm telling you, a glass of milk and fucking L-tryptophan and eating a fucking turkey sandwich and melatonin and fucking herbal tea isn't going to do shit. You need some fucking Jew concocted fucking pharmaceutical that's passed every clinical trial there is. And swallow one of those motherfuckers with a glass of water and knock you the fuck out for 9 hours. Yeah, I think all that herbal bullshit works when you're like fringe, you know, you think you can't sleep. And here's another thing too. Talk to a single mom with 3 kids that's working 2 full-time jobs. You think she's got a problem sleeping? Fuck no. She's lucky to get 5 hours a night. She doesn't have time to have problems with sleep. And I think there's an element of truth to that. Yeah, you got to be careful on vitamin D. There's people all over Florida in the winter and the summertime running around with low vitamin D levels, and they're out in the sun all day long, all week long. It's just like the same studies with serotonin linked to depression. I mean, it's iffy. That could be, Jules, yeah. They say we're gonna get snow in 20 minutes. This snow out here is fucking bullshit. Nothing. Yeah, that's what a psychiatrist will bring up to you, or even like a master's degree in counseling purpose. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, that may work for some people, but not me. Yeah, I don't either, ICU. I agree. Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. What is that thing, Grifter? No, I believe that. Go to. Yeah, I believe that. No, me either, Jacob. No purpose in life. Yeah, I said, well, yeah, I couldn't do it. I tried. I had one counselor tell me you ought to like do it for Daisy, and I wanted to take a Louisville Slugger to her forehead. It's like I'm supposed to have my purposes for some fucking dog. I think Daisy's cool. I'm glad I have her. But I still wanted to bash her head in with the Louisville Slugger. Now we're talking, Drifter. I think Daisy's cool, and doing videos is great, but I don't think this is any big giant carrot in the sky for me. I'm glad I have her. I take care of her and all this shit, but it's not happening. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, I know right away when you hear that from a mental health professional. I know I'm fucked. Yeah, why don't I do it for a fucking Dixie cup? It's nuts. Oh, did you? No, that's it. That's it. Don't get it. They're fucking trying. They got a degree in this shit, and I don't think they have bad intentions. Yeah, Daisy gets a lot of good treats. Yeah, I've done it, Dave. Yeah, I sure have. Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's what I think, Bob Hog. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. What's today, Friday? Crazy Lords. You got my vote. Now we're talking. Fucking. I agree. Oh, fucking A. It's just like all these people that say, God, no, it's fucking bullshit. I'm not into that stuff at all. Ironically, my best friends were like into Men of the Cloth, which is a mystery. But I tell people all the time when something good happens or, it's worked out, I thank the spirit of Johnny Holmes and Linda Lovelace. I've had a shit ton of like therapists that were just dumber than hell, ignorant, stupid, poor listeners. Yeah, that's what I think, Jable. Yeah, right. Yeah, we block them out, Dave. Yeah, man, you're right. Not sure. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Popok. Yeah, I just got a book. I think it's in my mailbox actually. The Dumbing Down of America. But you know how it is in ICU. You know, you're having problems. You know, you're trying to hang in there. You know, what are you going to go see? A guy that changes oil? You know, you're hoping some of this stuff's going to work. Yeah, it's true, Jules. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, true. I see you. Yeah. I mean, I think they perform a function. I met one that I really got along with. You know, I've been in South Bend a long time. I have not. It's a cool town. They got their own zip code. I used to go to that Starbucks there. They got a nice Starbucks right there along the expressway. Yeah, I got lucky with Daisy big time. Yeah, but I'll tell you, in the medical field, amongst physicians, psychiatrists are regarded as a bunch of jackoffs. New York produces more psychiatrists than any state in the country, and there's a huge shortage of them now. Yeah, they're kind of like the red-headed stepchild in medicine. Yeah, I order those on eBay, Dave. Those are all ordered on eBay. I used to go down there all the time, though. Yeah, I know the feeling, Jules. Not a fucking thing. I'll tell you, you'll appreciate the psychological dynamics to this. I think I'm fucked on these t-shirts, and I think it's going to be a hassle and bullshit. And I haven't called and I haven't driven down there because I don't want to fuck with it. I know that's fucked up logic, but I'm hoping that I'm going to get a call from this dingy bitch. But I got an idea. I'm probably going to end up filing a police report. Uh, there's not a spotlight. Yeah, no, they're the same with pathologist, Hannah. No patient contact. Yeah, it is shadow, but it's like it's all over the board, you know. Yeah, yeah, because I know it's going to be a fucking hassle. No, I know. No good deed goes unpunished. Yeah, it's something's really off. Oh, cool, dude. Oh, really, Jules? No, I believe it, Cindy. Yeah, you can go if you want. I don't even know where that. I saw a receipt. I didn't even unfold it because, I know it's going to be a problem. Let's put it this way: it's already turned into exactly what I didn't want it to be. Yeah, Daisy's throwing away. Yeah, Jib, I see you mentioned the name Phoebe. I don't know if you guys, you'd have to be a certain age to know about Phoebe Snow. Phoebe. Actually, a Jewish girl. A lot of people thought she was black. Anyway, long story short, she came out with this song in '75 called The Poetry Man. She was on Midnight Special, not that that means anything. But the song was actually about having an affair with a married guy. And I can remember hearing that voice. I was young, I was 19 at the time. And I remember thinking, wow, this is really special. Her career never really took off. Ended up having a girl that was considered physically challenged, now handicapped at the time, basically retired from singing. And the reason for that was to take care of her daughter. And she died a while back. And it just goes to show you there, it's subjective, right? I thought that Phoebe Snow was like super talented, a super unique voice, but she didn't really fit the profile of like what makes it in the music world in this day and age. But she kind of semi-retired to take care of her daughter who died. And she died at a relatively young age. And when I look back and I look at, in my opinion, the talent level of her, and because of the way she looked and the way things worked out, and you look at her videos and her songs, they don't get many views. And there was a lady from Michigan actually that ran a Phoebe Snow fan site or something. I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan. I never went to see him in concert. I could have, I didn't. In my opinion, I thought they were the best band ever. And I look back and I compare them to Phoebe Snow. And, life's not fair, and it's just my opinion. But I feel sad about that when I see the lack of recognition for what I considered a super high talent level. But I know that works this way. Look up on YouTube sometime if you get a chance. Phoebe Snow, Poetry Man. Excellent song, unique voice, but I guess I get sucked in like everybody else. I consider views and money and contracts as a litmus test for success. Yeah, she died quite a while ago, and so did her daughter. It was a sad story. There's a great YouTube video on it. Yeah. Same with the overweight Arabic singer from Ann Arbor, Laith El Sadi. AL-SAADI. Arabic name, overweight. Even Adam Levine agreed that he was one of the best guitar players he'd ever heard in his life. I mean, Adam Levine's band, whatever the name of it is, commercial success, Jewish connection, claims to be a guitar player. I mean, he fucking sucks compared to Laith El Sadi. I actually know Laith El Sadi, not very well, but I would see him when I was in Ann Arbor quite a bit and talk to him, and actually went and saw him in St. Louis, Michigan. And if he saw me, he'd say, "Hey, Tom, how you doing?" Not that that means shit, but if you look at, he was second on The View or whatever, one of those shows. He just doesn't meet what's canned into success. This sucks, but that's the way it is. He has a hard time filling bars with 20 paid patrons, and you'll never find a better guitar player. Yeah, he's an excellent guitar player. He got popped with drugs here, fentanyl and some other shit. About same place I got run off the road by a SWAT team. Talk about kindred spirits. And ended up getting out pretty unscathed, all things considered. He's lost weight and he's still singing. And I haven't been to Ann Arbor. I used to hang out there all the time. That's where I went to that party at that airplane place. But he just doesn't meet the criteria. That's how it works. The good news is you know that and you have knowledge of that. The bad news is it doesn't seem fair. But what's fair? Yeah, I bet he doesn't make $40,000 a year and is on the road all the time. No, it's not. No. But fair is, again, subjective and undefined, and it's just how it is. There's another guy, a black guy, heavy set, about an hour from here, Larry McCray, blues guy. No, that's how it is. ICU, yeah. Yeah, Daisy's really sleeping. You know, I'll leave. I went over to my buddy's house. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 5 hours. Came back. Daisy's right at I leave the door open because I got a full glass insulated second door. And I leave it open so she can see out. Sure enough, 5 hours later, I pull in the driveway. She's sitting right there, standing up, looking out the window. Yeah, it sucks. It does. Yeah, money. No, I agree with it. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just like the videos that I do, the interviews. If you're overweight, black, older, fucking forget it. I mean, luckily, and I'm not saying this is anything to brag about, I interview anybody I can. And it isn't like I'm thinking, well, I better interview some heavy black people because I just want to even the scales. It's not like that. I'm interested in what people have to say. And I don't think I deserve like an award for it. It's just my personality, which I'm grateful for. I'd like to thank Linda Lovelace and Johnny Holmes. But if you look on the views and you look on what people click on, it's very apparent. Racism, age discrimination, and sexism is alive and well. Yeah, I don't know about that, Blue. Last time I talked to him was probably 4 years ago. And he was dating this girl that was like not bad looking, but just some crazy fucking kids. Oh, thank you, Drifter. All about the money, yeah, it seems to be. There's that Persian cat out there eating food again. That is one badass cat. Beautiful, too, by the way. Blue eyes. You talk about 9 lives. It's no shit. Yeah. Taylor Swift. I mean, there's something off with her. I mean, she can't seem to get a date. She comes from a very successful investment banking family. They'll tell this story how they drove around, dropped off her tapes. Bullshit. That was big bucks from the start. But yeah, you're right. It's true. It's just like if I went on here and just talked about dope dealers gone wild, people lying about rehab. I mean, it would get way more attention. It's just the way it is. No, I do not. No, I got a trail cam. I actually videotape myself. I don't. Yeah, I mean, it was all a can. There's something off with Taylor Swift. I mean, weird. I mean, you guys know how it is. You'll meet people that are attractive. I mean, I guarantee you, there's some waitress working double shifts at a damn Waffle Hut whose phone's ringing off the fucking hook. She's got male attention up the ass, and it isn't all bad. But Taylor Swift, something's weird there. Yeah, it sure seems like a butt. That's true. That's why Jeff Bridges and a lot of those guys are still married to the people they met before they were famous. Right, Joel. Yeah. Well, you guys, I think I'm gonna go to bed. About an hour past my bedtime, so I hope you guys, if you stay up later, you have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow. Good night, Cindy, Jabo, Drifter, Blue. Yeah, thank you. All right, Frisky. Yep. See you, Bopop. See you, Dave. Yeah, take care, you guys. See you, Shadow. I carry my old Daisy baby up to bed now. Yeah, see you, not sure. Yeah, take care, you guys.